So face-off won by West Michigan. Immediately down the ice it's sent and turned aside by the Plymouth starting netminder this afternoon, Jack Cavaney, the 2010 birth year out of Plymouth, looking to study engineering when he graduates high school in a few years, only a sophomore or in 10th grade. Puck comes out of the West Michigan zone once again. Cavaney leaves off for a teammate. Here comes Lee up the far side. A stretch pass intended for McFall. Just out of the reach of the intended receiver. Graham Ellis was chasing it down the ice, but unable to catch up before the puck crossed the goal line. 12:27 to go in the first. 48 seconds on West Michigan's penalty. They get an offensive zone draw, so more of a power kill unit on the ice for head coach Richard Keys. Puck comes in the near corner. Two players come together. Callan Walters for Plymouth. Across from Nolan Richmond for West Michigan. Puck goes behind the West Michigan goal to the far corner and escapes. And down to grab it, Landon Martell out of Plymouth. Martell up to the blue line, finds Sieving. Tough angle shot, caught up in traffic. Puck gets wrapped to the near side, and here's Walters. Sends it down low, though it goes off a stick and out of play. And so the faceoff will stay inside the West Michigan zone. Just 8 seconds until they get Grant Griffin back out of the penalty box. An exciting day of hockey this morning here at Griff's Ice House Belknap. We appreciate you joining us for the KIIH Varsity Elite Invitational, happening today and tomorrow in downtown Grand Rapids. Out of the box comes Griffin. Back at even strength. And here comes West Michigan. Puck goes all the way down the ice. On target of the net, so no icing. On it in his own zone is Grant Erskine. Turns into a battle in the middle of the slot. Comes away with Zach Schembri, the defenseman out of Salem. Gets it deep to the offensive zone. First one on it, Yaroslav Ovchkin. The whistle blows. We get another penalty. This one looks like it may be against Plymouth. And it is. It's a slashing penalty against Ovchkin. And so fresh off of killing a penalty of their own, West Michigan will get a power play opportunity. There you saw the stick of Luke Hooper knocked out of his hands. 11:09 to go in this first period. Sainin leans in for the draw for Plymouth. Turns into a battle. Sainin comes away with it. Clears the zone, but it's quickly taken back by West Michigan. Here they come to the offensive zone. Play it across the way. Brendan Rule up to the blue line. To the near side it comes. Fired on. Luke Hooper. Got blocked in traffic. Back down to Rule. Cuts towards the middle on his forehand. Rule fires just high of the net. Goes off the back glass. And now it's picked up by Landon Martell. Weird carom off the stanchion, but great keep at the blue line. Now is Hooper. Heavy check thrown, but the puck goes all the way down the ice. Heavy on the forward check, Graham Ellis, the 2010 birth year out of Salem. 30 seconds to go on the power play, and here comes West Michigan. There he gets knocked down to the ice. Arm the official goes up into the air. And so for 25 seconds, West Michigan will go on a 5-on-3 power play. Take a look here at the replay. I want to guess that that is Caden Finnerty, not wearing his rostered number 21, but wearing number 67 instead. Either way, A great opportunity for West Michigan to open the scoring. The face-off won by West Michigan, held at the blue line and across the way. A shot on goal sails into the netting above the glass. Came off the stick of Carson Poulin, the junior over at Grand Haven. He and his brother Caden play high school hockey for the Grand Haven Buccaneers, it appears. Face-off won by Plymouth, but taken back by West Michigan. Here's Poulin, a long shot along the ice. It trickles just wide. And off the back wall, able to jump on top, Jack Cavaney. Sometimes it's not about how hard you shoot it, but where you place it. And with a great screen out in front with a player knocked down on the ice, the puck nearly made its way to the back of the net. Plymouth wins the ensuing draw in their own zone. Puck gets chipped all the way down the ice. That was Carter Obrickite doing the honors. The Flyers get one guy back. Deegan McFall jumps over the boards. He takes possession, still shorthanded. Puck gets played by the West Michigan netminder. And now here they come. Leading the rush, Lucas Milanich. Now Finn Graham. Battling for possession near corner. It's taken away and chipped off the glass and into the Plymouth bench. So the faceoff will stay in the Flyers zone with 29 seconds to go on their penalty. 9:02 in the period. Lucas Zielinski leans in for the draw. Across from Caden Finnerty. Heavy check on the near side. Sees the puck stay in the offensive zone. Here's Finnerty in front. Turned aside. Rebound loose. Turned aside as well in the follow-up attempt. Here's another one. Held on to by the netminder. A great couple of saves by Cavaney. Keeps the score tied 0-0. Still 12 seconds to go on the West Michigan power play. Cavaney, a couple of great saves on a couple of grade A scoring chances for West Michigan. Plymouth wins another draw. This time, Jacob Lee able to clear the zone. A little help from Zielinski. Ain't that Ty Wingrove who carries down the boards. Regained by Finnerty. We're back at even strength, but not for long. The arm, the official. Up in the air. And now going to the box, West Michigan. So they go back on the penalty kill for the second time tonight. It's a 2-minute minor for cross-checking. You saw Luke Hooper get tangled up. Never released from the altercation when the puck left the area. So he'll sit for 90 seconds. More special teams play than even strength play to this point so far. It's Plymouth on the power play now. At the top is Wingrove, sends it down low. Fired on, but wide. It came off the stick of Zielinski. Now to the blue line, Erskine. Back to Lee on the near side half wall. Erskine up top, kicks it to his stick. Gets it across to Wingrove. Pushes down low. Here's Zielinski. The two crisscross. Zielinski fires on. It's sticked aside by the West Michigan netminder. Played back down low by Ellis. Off for Lee. Pushed up top. Here's Erskine for Wingrove far side. Steps into one that's turned aside. Rebound comes to Lee. Pushed down low across to Wingrove. Far side circle. Back across the slot looking for Ellis. He shovels it down below the goal line and Wingrove picks it up on the half wall. Wingrove up top to Erskine. Now Lee in front, sticked away. Wingrove once more. Looking for assistance from Zielinski, who carries it out in front. His shot turned aside, and the rebound taken by a West Michigan defender and cleared all the way down the ice. Just 6 seconds to go on the power play before out of the box comes Lou Cooper. With speed up the ice, here's Martin Sainin. Takes a check but stays on his feet. Here's Plymouth. Pushed on target and held on to by the netminder. Either Jacobs or Freed. Well, a really good-looking power play for Plymouth. Of the 90 seconds, they were in the offensive zone for about 84 of them. A couple of good looks on net, but a couple of good saves against them. Face-off won back by West Michigan, now looking to get out of their own zone now that they're back to full strength. 6:35 to go in this opening period. A battle ensues on the near wall. Taking the puck out of the scrum, Carson Poulin. Though it's regained by Plymouth. And on the near side, battling Martin Sainin. Up to the blue line for Walters. Across the way, a long shot from Landon Martell. Blocker to side. Here's West Michigan looking to make their way up the ice. Up the near side and pushing it forward. That was Caden Poulin. Though it comes backwards for Grant Griffin. Can't clear his own zone. A good keep at the blue line by Callan Walters. He'll continue on the forecheck. While on the far side, it's sent back down low by Martell. Takes a hit to make a play. But now here comes one of the Poulin brothers. Taking off his stick. Tough angle shot. Turned aside. That was the player to watch, Deegan McFall, who fired the shot. But now the whistle blows as two guys were knocked down to the ice. We may be getting more penalties. Take a look at the replay here. That we are. Penalty goes up for West Michigan. It's Grant Griffin out of East Grand Rapids. Will sit for 90 seconds. 5:40 to go in this opening frame. Face-off won by Plymouth. A lot of good opportunities on their last advantage. It was this unit on the ice. Here's Wingrove. Up top for Erskine. Back to Wingrove and pushed down low for Zielinski. Wingrove once more. Top of the blue line, Erskine, Wingrove, far side, fires a shot. Great block in front. It was blocked by, we believe, Caden Finnerty, who's rostered at number 21, but the Mona Shores pants being worn by the player wearing number 67. 69 seconds to go on the power play. Erskine across. Here's Lee near side. Fires on the rebounds. Loose. Turned aside. A couple of great saves in tight by the West Michigan netminder. Now Erskine again, but he's called offside. No, it's another penalty. This one against Plymouth. Well, the last game of this showcase ended in a full team brawl between West Michigan Varsity White and the Troy Sting. Same officiating crew, who I'm sure are looking to keep the lid on this game all the way through to the end. So we have 4-on-4 hockey for 57 seconds. Plymouth wins the faceoff in their own zone. Here's Lee. Lee up the far side, stretching the defense was Zielinski. It was Wingrove who was guilty of the slashing penalty. So he'll sit for 90 seconds. Lee bangs a body on the near corner. Wrapping the puck around to the far side, though, was Caden Poulin. It's picked up by Erskine, who's immediately pressured by the tan jersey of Finn Graham. Here comes Zielinski streaking up the near side. Puck on his forehand, plays out in front. It was a pass for Lee. That was just a bit too far ahead of him. Now here comes West Michigan. Caden Poulin pushes forward, looking for a teammate in Smilanich. Doesn't get Smilanich, but gets some help from himself to get it to the offensive zone. Here's Smilanich now across the way. Leaves off for Graham. Tough angle shot, turned aside. Looking to keep it in at the blue line was Smelanich, but it escapes the zone, and Plymouth can start a line change. It's a power play at the moment for West Michigan, but only for another 13 seconds. Plymouth able to get the puck down the ice thanks to Lucas Zielinski. Here's Carson Poland. Pushed ahead for Caden Finnerty. Heavy check by Finnerty knocks his counterpart down to the ice. Chipped into the Plymouth zone. They're back at full strength out of the box. Came Ty Wingrove. Behind the net to the near side it goes. Zach Schembri chases the puck out of the zone. Finnerty the first one on it. Crossing over through his own end, gaining speed. Here he comes. Finnerty fires on. Shouldered away by the netminder, Cavity. Now he's sent all the way down the ice by Brennan Atherton out of Churchill. They're allowed to change on the icing, so Plymouth will take the opportunity to do so with 2:59 to go in this first period. So at the end of this period, the teams will stay on the ice. They'll just meet at their benches for a minute or so. And they'll play half the second period before they'll get the next ice cut. Carter Obrecht leans in for the draw for Plymouth. Won by West Michigan. Pushed up towards the blue line. Looking to keep it in was Smelanich. It's pushed on net and held on to by Jack Cavity, who's had a fantastic start to this game. Both goalies, I'd say, are the highlights so far. Of course, in a 0-0 scoreline. Now, tends to be the case. Face-off won by Plymouth. Pushed across the way. Landon Martell looks to clear it, unable to. Instead, it's West Michigan an opportunity. A pass in front, intended for Bryce Winters. Couldn't connect. Now here comes Plymouth. It's Seaving. Curls out in front after cutting down to the corner. Pops a pass out for Erskine. The two couldn't connect. Instead is taken back by West Michigan and sent deep. Winters chasing. Cavity leaves off for his defenseman. That's Landon Martell. Puck comes out of the Plymouth zone and back to the West Michigan end. Here comes West Michigan up the ice. Grant Griffin skating through his own zone, pressured behind the net. Leaves off for a teammate in to help out Luke Cooper. At the blue line, Martell keeps it in. Does it for a second time and gets it down the wall to a teammate. That teammate is Lucas Zielinski. His shot got blocked, and now here comes West Michigan. Martell defending. Doing so effectively against Caden Poland. And now Zielinski gets a breakout pass from Wingrove. Here comes Zielinski. Lowers his shoulder and curls up. Fires a pass up to the blue line. Fired off the post. It stays out. A quick shot on net from the fresh-legged Brennan Atherton. And now the puck goes all the way down. Icing waved off. Now it's confirmed. It's a high stick call against Plymouth, so the face-off will stay in their zone. Take a look at this opportunity for Brennan Atherton, fresh on the ice. Got a pass up in the slot, and a quick release sent it just off the posts and out, so the game stays tied 0-0. .69 seconds to go in the opening frame. Face-off far side of the Plymouth end. One back by Plymouth. Here's Atherton near side. Off the wall and ahead. Chipped forward, a pass intended for Ovchkin. Instead, finds the stick of a tan jerseyed player. Chipped ahead, this time icing. Waved off. No high stick to be called, so play continues. Under a minute to go in the period. Puck comes to the near side corner. On it first, Zach Schembri. Looks to clear the zone, unable to, but an illegal hand pass by West Michigan spells the end of the play. Just 26 and a half ticks to go in this opening frame. Get a quick 1-minute break. And then at the halfway point of the second period, the teams will get off for an ice cut. Carter Obergeit leans in. Wins it for Plymouth. And now here's Deegan McFall. Chipped into the Plymouth zone. First one on it, the defenseman, Grant Erskine. Plymouth just playing keep away, allowing time to expire. We go to our first intermission, tied 0-0 between Plymouth and West Michigan Varsity Elite White here at the KIIH Varsity Elite Invitational. Don't go anywhere. We come right back with second period action here on YouTube Live. Welcome back inside Griff's Ice House here at Belknap Park. And YouTube Live, the 2026 KIIH Elite Varsity Invitational. Game 3 of opening day Saturday. Plymouth taking on West Michigan Varsity Green. Earlier in the day, it was the Michigan Steel defeating the Grand Rapids Bird Dogs 3-1. Then an exciting finish to Game 2. West Michigan Varsity White tying the game 2-2 against the Troy Sting in the very late stages. 20 seconds to go in regulation. And West Michigan Varsity White tied the game 2-2. This the last of the early games before the late slate gets going tonight. There is a tripping penalty on the play. It's against Plymouth. And West Michigan will go back on the power play. So our penalty-filled game continues into the second period. There was more special teams play than even strength play in that first frame, and we start the second the same way. Just 3 seconds in and going to the box, Colin Sieving, a minor penalty for tripping. Plymouth clears the zone nearly immediately. West Michigan starts the power play regroup, though an errant pass sees the puck go all the way down for Callan Walters to receive. He sends the puck the length of the river. Back to receive it, the netminder Cole Jacobs. Jacobs leaves off for a teammate, and now Carson Poulin pushes ahead. It comes back for Caden Finnerty. Poulin across the way. Finnerty, he'll lead the rush to the offensive zone, cuts to the middle, fires a shot on net. That's held on to by the netminder Cavaney. A good opportunity, Caden Finnerty. Some good size to him. That's the growing theme in hockey. Back in the day, late 90s, early 2000s, it was all about size. All about how hard you could hit the guy across the ice from you. Then there was a shift for about 10 years. I'd say from 2013 to 2023. Size didn't matter. Young, small skaters were the new thing that was in. Now it's back to size, but it's skilled size. Guys who can throw a hit but can also score a goal. That's Caden Finnerty. 27 seconds to go on the West Michigan power play. 13:50 in this second period, one that'll be cut in half due to an ice cut. Here comes West Michigan. It's Smilanich on it in his own zone. Goes off the near boards and down the ice. It banked off the stick of Brendan Rule. Far corner, heavy check laid by Finn Graham. He wins possession. Looks to get it back. It goes up towards the blue line. Plymouth clears the zone. They're back at full strength. Icing called. Fresh over the boards, Ty Wingrove was behind the West Michigan defense, but unable to get the puck before it crossed the goal line. I'll talk about players bringing size and skill. Finn Graham of Grand Rapids Catholic Central showed off his physicality while on the power play unit. Face off on the far side, won by Plymouth. They'll look to clear the zone. They do so effectively, and here they come to the offensive end. A shot on, kicked away. A great shot on goal from Yaroslav Ovchkin, but it wouldn't go. Instead, here's Finnerty. A nifty backhand pass, though it was just behind his teammate. Finnerty gets it back, looking towards the goal, unable to pull the trigger. It comes away with Plymouth's Grant Erskine. All the way down to the West Michigan zone it goes. 12:40 showing on the outer hung scoreboard. Possession regained by Ovchkin. To the near side wall it comes, inside the West Michigan zone. Ovchkin throws a check, laying the body onto Reed Bateson. Back to this near corner. Bateson retreats for possession. Delayed offside against Plymouth, allowing West Michigan to start a breakout. Here's Finnerty, near side, down behind the net. To the far side he skates. Finnerty curls back down low. Leaves off for a teammate. Fired on, rebound, loose, they score! Right on the back door, Johnny on the spot. It's banged home, and West Michigan takes a 1-0 lead. Bryce Winters parked himself right on the near side circle in the perfect position to bang home the rebound off a low far pad shot to give his team a 1-0 lead. 12 minutes to go in this second period. Moments away from our ice cut. A good check in the neutral zone from Smilanich. Shut down the rush from McFall. Here comes Plymouth back out of their zone. Up the near side. McFall gets it in the middle. Deegan McFall tried a nice move, but they score anyway. Oh, it was a great opportunity for McFall. The puck went off the defender, but straight to the stick of Carter Olbkite, who was able to tap it to the back of the net. Take a look here at the replay. You saw a good play by the defenseman, got the puck off of the stick of McFall, but right onto Olbkite's twig. And the Salem native ties the game up at 1 apiece, just moments after West Michigan took the lead. Puck gets pushed on to the West Michigan goaltender. He plays it across the way. Finnerty gives chase down the ice. 11:20 to go in this second period. Stepping up to keep it in, the defenseman Caden Poulin gets it in the corner. Works towards the middle, up to the blue line. It's slapped towards the net, but blocked in traffic. Regaining possession was Carson Poulin, member of the Lakeshore Junior Lumberjacks. Here comes Finnerty, tapped to the near side. Unable to keep it away from Brendan Atherton. West Michigan executes a regroup. They get it back to the offensive zone. Luke Hooper got it down the ice. Now he's back to receive it once more, defending a 2-on-1 rush. Does so effectively, cutting down the cross-ice pass. 10.5 to go in this second period. Cooper back to receive the puck in his own zone. Wraps it hard around the boards to the far side. Looking for Brendan Rule. It's taken away by Plymouth. The Flyers get it deep to the West Michigan zone. First one on it, Graham Ellis. Cuts to the middle. Great poke check. Got it off his stick. And now here comes Rule up the ice, working 1-on-2. Looks to jump towards the middle, but it's knocked away by Jacob Lee. The Flyers to the offensive zone again, and again it's Graham Ellis. Leaves off for a teammate. Comes down to Ellis. He lets it go for Lee on the near side. Though it bounces off of his stick, Lee takes a guy down. Arm the official goes the opposite direction. Caden Poulin ended up on the ice and earns his team a power play that'll come after the ice cut. Take a look here as we go to a replay. And then we go to a break. We come back for the rest of the second period. 9:39 to go in the frame at the KIIH Varsity Elite Invitational here on YouTube Live. Welcome back inside Griff's Ice House at Belknap Park and YouTube Live for the 2026 KIIH Elite Invitational. Game 3 of the U16 division, halfway through, 9:39 to go in the second period. And West Michigan is on a power play. They open the scoring 1-1 or 1-0 in the second period, then immediately gave up a goal to Plymouth, who tied the game. A nice save across the way. That's Jake Cavaney, who puts it in his back pocket and holds on for the stoppage. 9:28 to go in the second. Then we'll get a smaller intermission, just about a minute or so. And then the 15-minute third period. Here's another shot from the point. Again, turned aside. This time the rebound down to the corner. Cavaney's been good all game about directing rebounds away from the middle of the ice. Puck played by Cole Jacobs, the netminder for West Michigan. Ends up in the neutral zone and right back towards Jacobs, where here's Luke Cooper. Fanned on his initial pass, now wraps it around to the far side. Very wet ice at the start of this half. Taken away by the dangerous Deegan McFall. He keeps it in the offensive zone and sends it down behind the net. Plymouth will take the opportunity for a line change. Jumping over the boards, the just as dangerous Lucas Zielinski. Puck holds up on the wet ice, now gets sent down the ice. Zielinski gives chase, Luke Cooper meets him and immediately sends it back to the Plymouth zone. Just 15 seconds to go on the power play. A cross-ice pass had no intended receiver. Ends up at the blue line where it's kept in effectively by Grant Griffin. Down behind the net, it's wrapped to the far side by Callan Walters. Turns into a battle just inside the blue line. Comes away with West Michigan. On the near side, it's Brendan Rule. Fires one high and wide. Kept in by Caden Finnerty. Sent back down low. That was Smilanich. The 2010 birth year out of Matawan. Looking to play junior hockey after his high school hockey career is over. And we'll get another penalty. This one, again, against Plymouth. I think it's a penalty against Plymouth. There it is. Goes up on the board. So fresh off a killing one, they have another one to deal with. West Michigan wins the faceoff. They set up their offensive zone power play structure. Down below the goal line, Grant Erskine looks to clear it. The great play, it's gloved down and kept in by Grant Griffin. Erskine defending, a nice save by Jack Cavaney. West Michigan gets the rebound, and now Griffin, a long shot, goes wide. From the far corner, a tough angle try, patted away and then swallowed up by Cavaney. Gives us a stoppage with 56 seconds to go on the penalty. Face-off will stay far side of the Plymouth zone. Turns into a battle for possession, won by the Flyers. Off the near wall and all the way down the ice. Out of his crease, Cole Jacobs leaves off for his defenseman, Luke Cooper. Back with Erskine, takes a step backwards and then sends the puck into the netting above the glass. And so the face-off will come back into the Plymouth zone, but with two new defensemen on the ice. It's Landon Martell and Callan Walters who jump over the boards. Face-off won back by Plymouth. Off the glass, great keep by Cooper once again. Fires a shot along the ice and held onto by Cavaney. Look at this play by Luke Cooper. Keeps the puck in the offensive zone, uses his big frame to do so. Walks and waits a moment, fires a shot along the ice. Now Luke Cooper did his job, but on a power play, West Michigan needs to get someone to the net front area, clean up that rebound, which is how they found the back of the net. Rather, it was Plymouth who found the back of the net that way. Brennan Atherton right on the back door. Atherton watches from the bench as his team's in the offensive zone. It was the defenseman Callan Walters who was applying pressure on the forecheck, and now he sends it back down the ice. Back at even strength. McFall jumps over the boards. Pressures Caden Finnerty. Puck goes across the way to the far side, and now here comes Bryce Winters. His shot held on to by the netminder. Had it caught up in his paraphernalia, didn't want to move. No one really knew where it was. And now they fish it out from underneath his leg pad. Face-off won by West Michigan. Up towards the blue line it goes. It's kept down low by Carson Poulin. Corralled again by Zielinski. Chips it forward. Here comes McFall. Tough angle shot held on to. A nice save by Cole Jacobs. When we talked about McFall coming from Orchard St. Mary's, high-end program on the east side of the state. The St. Mary's alum and former Muskegon Lumberjack netminder Will Keene, a 2026 Chipotle All-American, one of the top goaltending prospects for the NHL draft last year, set for his second season in the USAHL, now not in Muskegon, but traded to the Sioux City Musketeers. He'll get a bit more runway than he was going to in Muskegon with the arrival of Oscar Westman and Samuel Doyon-Cattequist. Here's McFall. Good touch off the sideboards. Leaves off for Erskine. The defenseman leads the rush and fires it just high of the net. On the near side, Wingrove had it for a moment, though it was poked away by Brendan Rule. Regained by Caden Poulin, popped out in front. Rule tapped it on net, but it was turned aside by Cavaney. Wingrove looked to clear it, unable to do so, but now as he goes down to the ice, the whistle blows, and we get another penalty. This time it's against West Michigan, which gives Plymouth an opportunity for their first lead of the game. It didn't take them long to tie the game after falling 1-0. And their power play back in the first period had a flurry of opportunities. Same with their power play in the first half of the second. Face-off won back by Plymouth. Down in the corner, it comes back up to the blue line. Long shot, turned aside, rebound, picked up behind the net by Martin Sainett. From his knees, plays back up towards the blue line. A long shot punched out of the air by Jacobs. Now here comes Finnerty up the ice. That was taken away from him. Great follow-up puck support from Nolan Richmond to keep the puck away from Plymouth. Luke Hooper sends it back down the ice. A minutes eater, they call a defenseman like Luke Hooper. A lot of ice time, eats the minutes. Looks like he eats a lot of shots, getting in the shooting lane with his big frame as well. Couldn't get in the shooting lane there. So a nice save by Jacobs. On the near side wall, it's down towards Chambry. Chambry across the way. A shot on, gets blocked in traffic. There was Caden Finnerty in the shooting lane. Hooper in the corner, pinned to the boards. His counterpart, Landon Martell. Puck goes to the blue line and escapes the zone. Here's McFall. Up the middle for Martell. Kicked out for Zielinski. Into the offensive zone they skate. Only 2 seconds to go on the power play. Zielinski near side. Off for McFall. Steps to the middle. Fires on it. Deflected just wide. Back to the blue line. A shot from Erskine. Blocked in traffic. Comes back to him in the neutral zone. He'll curl away from Caden Finnerty. Leave off for a teammate, but now here comes West Michigan. Regained by Erskine. Off for a teammate. Here comes Zielinski down to the far corner. Popped out in front. A great centering pass. Just unable to tap it home was Graham Ellis. Now here comes West Michigan. A shot on net. Turned aside. The follow-up effort blocked in traffic. Though a good step at the blue line by Smilanich keeps the play alive. Only before it was forced out of the zone by Ellis. $1:50 to go in this second period. McFall looks to clear it, unable to. Instead, the puck held up in front of his own net, held on to by Jack Cavney. Take a look at the centering pass by Lucas Zielinski, leading the rush, carries the defenseman, drags Luke Cooper all the way down to the corner. And a centering pass for Graham Ellis that nearly broke this 1-1 tie. .142 showing on the outer hung scoreboard. Face-off won by Plymouth in their own zone. The party moves to the near side of the ice. With it, A.J. Eichner looks to clear the zone and does. Here comes Plymouth, an opportunity to the offensive zone. Carrying it down low, Colin Sieving. Met in the far corner. It's a 2-on-2 battle. Sieving comes away with it, plays up towards the blue line. Gets it back on the wall and now cycles down low. Here's Carter Oberkite. Leaves off for Ty Wingrove, though it's taken away. Carried back up the ice by Caden Poulin. Cleared out of the zone, but taken right back by Plymouth. Wingrove plays it to the far corner. First one on it, Brendan Rule. Taken back by Plymouth. Sieving to the blue line. The return pass never got to him, though it's kept in the offensive zone. Here's Wingrove near side. Pops out in front. Off the back of the net. Wingrove thought he scored a goal. Puck gets chipped ahead out of the zone. A good effort by Caden Poulin. West Michigan makes their way to the offensive end. A shot goes wide of the net, and here's Finnerty on the near side. Just 16 seconds to go till the end of the period. Puck trickles its way down to the West Michigan end. Heavy check by Wingrove on the far wall. 5 seconds to go. Wingrove gets off the ice. The buzzer sounds. Not enough time for one last shot. So we take a small break and a small step aside, and then we come back. Third period action. Game 3 of the day here at the 2026 KIIH Varsity Elite Invitational. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back inside Griff's Ice House here at Belknap Park. And YouTube Live for the 2026 KIIH Varsity Elite Invitational. This is Game 3. The Plymouth Flyers taking on the West Michigan Varsity Green Squad. After a short break this afternoon, the fellows are back in action. Starting at 5:30 tonight, Troy taking on Grand Rapids, the Sting, and the Bird Dogs. It's 1-1 through 2 periods here between West Michigan Varsity Green and the Plymouth Flyers. West Michigan took a 1-0 lead. Bryce Winters found the back of the net. A backdoor tap-in off a low far pad shot. But then moments later, Plymouth responded to tie the game 1-1. Now they're going to have to win a defensive zone draw as Erskine's pass was a bit too far ahead of its intended receiver. And so icing called against the Flyers. The draw on the near side features Lucas Zielinski for Plymouth. Turns into a battle inside the circle. Won by Zielinski and the Flyers. Here comes Graham Ellis. It comes back to Zielinski. Now Erskine. This is the top unit for Plymouth. They spend a lot more time in the offensive zone than their own end. Zielinski with Ellis and Wingrove. All three guys from Salem. A long shot from Callan Walters wouldn't go, and now here comes Caden Finnerty for West Michigan. The Mona Shore Sailor pops out in front. The shot got blocked. The follow-up attempt broke the stick of the defenseman. That was Carson Poland who pulled the trigger. Finnerty applying pressure in the net front area while the puck gets wrapped all the way down the ice. Enough for the icing, and so Plymouth again guilty of dumping the puck the length of the ice. They'll have to win a defensive zone draw, but take a look at this opportunity. Caden Finnerty showing off his vision. Got a puck to the front of the net. The shot wouldn't go, though. It was blocked in traffic, and there you saw Poulin's follow-up attempt. Mom and Dad won't be too thrilled. Needed to buy a new stick. Luckily for Carson, who goes to Grand Haven. And if he plays for the Buccaneers, then he's got a pretty good in at the Lumberjacks on how to get some new Bauer twigs. Pushed on goal, but turned aside. Plymouth set up in the offensive zone. A long shot redirected. Pop back out in front. Here's the follow-up attempt. Caught up in traffic. That was the defenseman Landon Martell pulling the trigger. Never got its way on to Cole Jacobs. West Michigan looks to clear it. Here they come, breakaway attempt, fired on, turned aside, a great save. A great opportunity for Finn Graham, but a better save by Jack Cavany. Not out of danger yet. Now it's picked up by Plymouth and forced out of the zone. Cavany got it with the outstretched pad. Graham tried going blocker side on the breakaway. .12.5 to go in regulation. A heavy collision on the far side, and a player shaken up on the play. So the whistle blows as he gets back up to his feet. That was Grant Griffin as he makes his way over to the bench. Let's take a look at that replay of the breakaway for Finn Graham. I mean, a perfect passing play by West Michigan. Tried to go low blocker side, and a perfect pad save by Jack Cavany. Shut it down. The 2010 birth year, sophomore over at Plymouth High School. Interested in studying engineering in college. Engineered a great save. Game stays tied 1-1. Offensive zone draw for Plymouth. Puck gets shoveled out of the zone and down the ice. Not enough mustard for icing. It's a race for possession won by Erskine. Ridden into the boards by his counterpart, but now here comes Plymouth. The rush up the ice. led by Sieving, the defenseman. Sieving looks back for Erskine, but is taken away by a tan jerseyed player. Now this puck has enough juice for the icing. And so Plymouth will get another offensive zone faceoff. They'll bring on that top unit once again. Zielinski, centering Wingrove and Ellis, to join Erskine and Jacob Lee, who's listed as both a forward and defenseman. So 4 forwards on the ice, you could say, for head coach T.C. Wingrove and the Plymouth Flyers. Lee sends the puck out of play into the netting above the glass. So the faceoff will come to the neutral zone just in front of the Plymouth blue line with 11:28 to go in this third period. Zielinski wins it back. New defenseman on the ice for Plymouth includes Martel. He's got to defend. Does so effectively, and now here comes Zielinski, 3-on-2 rush. Leads it up the far side away from the defender. Cuts to the middle and fires on. Great save, the rebound. Got behind the netminder, but then picked up by the defenseman Luke Hooper, who clears the zone. Here comes Hooper to the offensive end. Big defenseman leads the rush. Knocks down his counterpart. West Michigan, a grade A scoring chance. Can't capitalize. The shot from Finn Graham sailed wide. Here's Cooper behind the net. Throws out in front. Lee took it away. Cooper colliding below the goal line with the defenseman Martel. And now they score on the other end. It was Lucas Zielinski. Take a look at the replay. The rush up the ice led by Ellis. Zielinski got a backdoor pass and just hammered it home. Rather, it's Ty Wingrove who found the back of the net. Either way, there's that Salem duo connecting to give Plymouth a 2-1 lead. To the offensive zone, skates Sainin, taken off his stick and pushed back up the ice. A heavy check on the near side. The whistle blows, and interference the call. Callan Walters laid a check onto Brendan Rule. And now Walters is going to go sit in the box. .17 to go in the third period. 2-1, Plymouth leads it, but now West Michigan looking to do exactly what Plymouth had done earlier in the game, tie it up nearly immediately following the tie-breaking goal. Jacob Lee sends the puck the length of the ice. Still 10 minutes for West Michigan to get something going. Just 90 seconds of power play time, though. Erskine takes it away, sends it to the far corner of the ice. Takes some time out of that 90 seconds. Here comes West Michigan to the offensive zone. A good poke check by McFall, shut it down, but not out of danger yet. The offensive zone skates Brendan Rule. Now a shot from the wall goes just wide, came off the stick of Carson Poulin. McFall's behind the defense, but the puck ends up in the corner. He blows a tire, and now here comes West Michigan. Looking to take advantage of numbers in their favor with McFall behind the play, slowly making his way back to the bench. Popped out in front, poked away by Lee, a great poke check. Now he'll lead a rush. Lee to the offensive zone, he skates. Leaves off for Graham Ellis. Picked back up by West Michigan. 14 seconds to go on the power play for West Michigan. Here comes Rule to the offensive zone. Plays in the near corner. Wrapped around to the far side. Ellis the first one on it. Clears the zone all the way down the ice. He sends it. And that does it for the West Michigan power play. That brings the Salem crew back on. Wingrove and Zielinski back on with Ellis. Zielinski follows up. Great save made by the netminder. Shutting down Zielinski right on the doorstep, who was the beneficiary of a fortuitous bounce to the front of the net and a grade A scoring chance. 8:32 to go in regulation. Plymouth still leads it 2-1. They get an offensive zone draw as well, though it's won by West Michigan. Flying through, Ellis causing some havoc in the near corner. West Michigan breaks out of the zone. On the far side, it's played backwards for a defenseman. And now here they come to the offensive zone. Fired off the stick of Martel and wide. Graham pinned to the boards. Chipped out by Zielinski. Wingrove corrals the puck in the neutral zone and gets it deep. He'll get off for a line change. Here comes Finn Graham back to the offensive zone for West Michigan. Picked up by Erskine and left off for Zach Schembri. Now ahead, here's Ovchkin to the offensive zone. He'll get it deep. Get off for a change. Popped out in front. Whistle blows. Another penalty coming on the play. And we'll see who is against. It looks to be against West Michigan, sending Plymouth back to the power play. They might be coincidental penalties. We saw at the end of that replay there, two guys tangled up in front of the net. No, it is just against West Michigan. And so Plymouth back on the power play, a chance to extend their lead. Face-off won by the Flyers, though it turns into more of a battle and now sent down the ice by West Michigan. A good start for the team in tan, though here's Erskine, leaves off for Zielinski. Poked off his stick. An active stick by Nolan Richmond, who plays backwards for a defenseman. West Michigan reloading. 6:55 to go in regulation, trailing by 1. Need a power kill unit in this situation more than a penalty kill unit. A very penalty-filled game taken back by West Michigan. Bryce Winters pushed it on net. And it's held on to by Jack Cavaney, who gave that puck away while he was standing behind the net. Didn't have to face a shot nearly as quickly as he might have. Was able to get back in time and make a save. Caden Poulin and Finn Graham up front. Lucas Milanich on the back end alongside Grant Griffin. Griffin off the draw, fires in and out of the glove of Cavaney. All the way down the ice it goes. Icing called against Plymouth. It was Brennan Atherton who sailed the puck down the ice. Face-off on the near side, won by West Michigan. A long shot, caught up in traffic in front of the net. On the near side, working his way behind the cage, Carter Oberkite. He'll start the rush up the far side. To the offensive zone goes Colin Sieving. Fires it on, rebound to the back of the net. It was Zach Schembri parked in the blue paint. Cole Jacobs made 90% of the save, but Schembri found a loose puck and tapped it to the back of the net. A power play goal for Plymouth to make it 3-1. .608 to go in regulation. After what we saw in the previous game, plenty of time still for West Michigan Green. We saw West Michigan Elite or Varsity White tie the game with 20 seconds to go after trailing by 2 in the late stages. Fisher near side. Off for Finnerty. Tap to the far side. A new pace from West Michigan as it comes away with Erskine. The Plymouth defender chips the puck up the middle of the ice, and now here comes Graham Ellis working behind the defense. Puck gets pushed below the goal line. Ellis takes it back in the corner. Cycles it behind the net. Pop back out in front. Not able to connect with his teammate. It comes back to Ellis near side. Fires from a tough angle. Rebound try. Turned aside as well. Down to 5:15 to go in regulation. Behind the net it goes. Near side, pushed back on. Now is Martin Sannon firing the shot. But it comes back to the Plymouth zone. Not a bad thing. Taking time off the clock in a 2-goal game. Erskine pushes it up the ice. A pass intended for Graham Ellis instead turns into an icing. That is a bad thing. With 4:55 to go, West Michigan gets the chance to win an offensive zone faceoff. Zielinski leans in. Though it's won by West Michigan, a blocked shot sees the puck slide all the way down the middle of the ice. On the near side wall of the neutral zone, Bryce Winters works for it. And now here comes West Michigan. Smilanich sends it in, though it comes back to their direction. Here comes Seaving for Plymouth on his backhand. It's turned aside and held on to by the netminder. A beautiful save by Cole Jacobs. Holds on for the stoppage. Down to 4.5 to go. Face-off won by West Michigan. They send it down the ice, but icing waved off. First one on it back, Jacob Lee. This time, icing confirmed. And so the draw will come back to the Plymouth zone. .407 showing on the outer hung scoreboard. 2-goal game. Plymouth, they lead it 3-1. It was 1-1 at the start of this period. Zielinski leans in. Finnerty is counterpart. Finnerty pushes Zielinski away. But Lucas Zielinski, he comes away with possession up the middle of the ice, and icing is called against Plymouth, who gets a line change. The face-off also flips to the near side, though Caden Finnerty expected to lean in once again. Mona Shore Sailor plays his high school hockey games at Lakeshore Sports Center up in Muskegon. Long shot from the blue line. No rebound to be had. A perfect save by Jack Cavaney, who holds on for another stoppage. Face-off one on this near side by Plymouth. Looking to clear the zone. Ellis does so. Though he blows a tire in the offensive end, the puck comes down towards him behind the net. Here comes West Michigan. Chip to the far side. Brendan Rule. He'll backhand it deep. 3.5 to go in regulation. Rule Up towards the blue line. Off for a teammate. Long shot. Blocked in traffic. Rule back to recover it. Sends it into the Plymouth zone. West Michigan touches up. Rule gives chase. Finnerty near side. Met by a pair of camo jerseys. And back down the ice. Here comes one of them. Ovchkin pushes it across the zone, finding a teammate down in the corner. Under 3 minutes to play in this third period. Landon Martell sends it down the wall 2 times before it comes back up to him. Does it for a third time. Now finds Ovchkin. Tough angle try, sailed high and wide, and all the way down the ice goes the rebound. It's picked up by Erskine and then sent ahead by Zielinski. Taken back by West Michigan, though, to the offensive zone. Nice move. Backhand try, sailed high of the cage. It was Caden Poulin, the Grand Haven Buccaneer. Nearly got the game back to it, then won. Plymouth looks to break out. Here come the Flyers. Zielinski gets it deep. He'll get off for a line change. 2 minutes to go in regulation. 3-1. The Flyers still lead it. Erskine chips it in. Luke Cooper picks it up. Looks for a quick breakout for West Michigan. Though caught up in the feet of the official, it's picked up by Sieving. Far side wall up top to Erskine. Sends it back down low. A little bit of help. It's sent deeper by Carter Oberkite. Martell looks to keep it in. He does. Oberkite fires on. Turned aside. Armed the official in the air, though. And a tripping penalty called against West Michigan. With just 91 seconds to go. Take a look at the replay of the opportunity. Oberkite, when he pulled the trigger, was knocked down to the ice. And so Plymouth, barring any power play goals, will have nearly the entirety of the game remaining on the power play. Oberkite, who drew the penalty, leans in for the draw, pushes it down towards the corner. His teammate comes away with possession. Up top, here's Martell. Across the way, Erskine, back to Martell. Fired along the ice. Loose at the blue paint. It's swiped away to the near wall. Erskine can't keep it in. Gets back to recover. The arm, the official, back in the air once again. And now we'll see what the call is here. It's Colin Sieving who's going to the box for Plymouth. So that wipes out the power play. And we'll get 4-on-4 hockey to close out regulation. A break for West Michigan, looking to tie the game back up. Caden Finnerty leans in for the draw. One to the outside wall, flying through. Atherton, he'll lead the rush up the ice. Atherton fires, turned aside. On the far side, the puck picked up by a teammate and now cleared out of the zone by West Michigan. Lee finds Atherton, who sends it back down low. At 4-on-4, 50 seconds to go. Keep an eye on the netminder. Finnerty near side of his own end. Battles for possession. Across from Martin Sainin. Up to the blue line, Lee, a long shot off the back wall. Half a minute to go in regulation. All the way down the ice the puck goes. Icing called against West Michigan, allowing Plymouth an offensive zone draw. New unit on the ice on both sides. Though Atherton stays on, he's joined by Zielinski and Ellis up front. Jacob Lee on the back end. Here's Zielinski off the draw, near side wall, fires it along the ice, but it's taken away by Brendan Rule. Rule leads the rush. Up the far side, taken away by Lee. Just 10 seconds to go. Lee up the far wall, pinched off possession by Carson Poulin. Now on the near side, it's Caden Poulin. Taken away and time expires. A 3-1 win in favor of the Plymouth Flyers. A pair of goals in this third period break the tie and send us to our first break of Saturday opening day action here at the KIIH Varsity Elite Invitational. Thanks so much for joining us in the early slate of games. Be sure to join us later today. At 5:30, it's Troy taking on the Grand Rapids Bird Dogs. Then at 7, this Plymouth team takes on the West Michigan Varsity White Squad. The Green Squad closes out Saturday at 8:30 against the Michigan Steel Blue. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you later this afternoon